Hey guys, I'm back! It's Mark Shay here and you're watching Exploring Music. Check it out! I am who I am, why can't you see? Hey guys, I know it's been a while since I posted an episode of Exploring Music, and that's because I've been moving house and things have just been absolutely hectic and crazy, and it's just like, wow! But yeah, I'm back, as I've said, and I'm ready to roll. In the new house, I have a new room for just rehearsing, recording, filming, and all that, and I'm ready to get into it. So let's get into it with the next installment of Tips for a Better Performance. Here we go. Wow. Okay. This time I want to talk about being flexible. All right. You know, we've talked about knowing your stuff, and yeah, now it's time to be flexible. You've got your show ready. You're ready to rock up and play your gig. You get there. Things don't always go as planned. So what do? Especially if you've got a show that's specifically planned out. You know, some people I know are control freaks and they work out their shows bit by bit. Well, what happens if things aren't going right? Now, that's what I mean. You got to be flexible when you perform. That's just the way it goes. You know, and a lot has to do with reading your audience, right? And that's an important thing, is reading your audience, which we will talk about later on as well. But that's something that really only comes through experience. And so when you're playing, you get that vibe back from the audience, and you can kind of work out where their head's at in the room. But yeah, the important thing is reading your audience, and this is something that only really comes with experience and time. Now, you will pick it up. It's just watching body language and watching their reaction to see how they are, what are they doing. And if things aren't going well, you got to pick up on that, and this is where it's important to be flexible. You know, there's a lot of artists out there, and it's like, I'm the artist, I'm here, this is my show, you love it. Well, no. No, they don't have to love it. You know, it's your job to perform to them, and your job to get them to interact with you and to respond to you. Right? And this is where you have to be flexible. I don't mean if you've planned this big show, you just got to throw it out the window. But sometimes you might just have to take a little detour, you know, and that's something that we're going to talk about, because you got a choice, right? You can be playing a show that you've planned for ages, and everybody starts switching off. Everybody in the crowd starts switching off. Well, you got two choices. I'll use one hand. Right? Now you got two choices. You either play the show that you want to play, regardless of what your audience think, and odds are you'll turn them off and they'll switch off, and the performance will be a bomb. It'll just be a flop. Or you can be flexible and change a couple things, take a little detour off the show, just to grab their attention back and pull them in. You know, now another thing is like, for example, if you play 3 slow songs in a row, it's just something that you really shouldn't do, but we'll get to that later on in another tip. But if you get to that second song, that second slow song, and you see people yawning or talking, and they're just really just zoning out because it's just like, oh my God, it's just so slow, and you're bringing down the mood, right? Now you can either play that third slow song and just lose everybody, or you can do something to just grab their attention, you know, and throw in a cover or something. We're going to be talking about covers, which is a really important thing that a lot of people overlook, but that'll be in another tip that's coming up real soon. But you can either take a detour and then come back, you know, play something upbeat and grab their attention and get them going again, and then come back to your set and play that third song, the next song, or the one after that. So it's just reading the audience and being flexible about it, and that is something that's really important. But another thing is you know, you might get a show where you have to throw your whole show out the window. and just do something completely different. Think about it for a second. You know, you can either play the show that you want regardless of what anybody else thinks, and they're not going to enjoy themselves, and they will just leave and they won't remember who you are, you know, or what you do or whatever. You just, yeah, there was some guy there, you know, or some girl there. Or you can play a show that your audience wants, even if you hate it, right? But you can play a show that your audience wants and that they'll have a good time at, and I guarantee you they will go home saying, I had a great time, and they'll remember who you are and they'll want to come back and see you. Okay guys, now a word from our sponsors. Yeah guys, these guys help me out so much. So when I put up a sponsor ad, check them out. You know, links are in the description. So make sure you check them out because they really help me do what I'm doing here. All right, be back soon after this. Hey guys, let me tell you about Conceptual Creative. They're absolutely awesome. You have to check them out. If you need a professional website done, if you need web hosting or other online services, they've got you covered. You got to check them out. If you want to be a professional, you have to have a professional online presence. And for 90% of us, 99% of us, we need help with that, right? And Conceptual Creative can do that for you. See Conceptual Creative today. Yeah. Lag guitars, they're an amazing instrument. You know, whether you're a beginner who just needs this guitar to practice on, or whether you're a professional who needs a reliable, great sounding guitar on stage, you can't go past lag guitars. They're just incredible instruments. So check them out today. Okay guys, now please help me build this channel. If you like this video, like it. Click like, just click like, right? And if you can, subscribe. If you're enjoying these videos, subscribe. And don't forget to hit the notification bell, because that will make sure that you get notified when, you know, when I post the next one, you'll get notified so you can come back easy and find me instead of constantly searching. So yeah, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and do it. Now, what you gotta remember is back in the old days, right, the old school way of doing things was bands would go out and play covers. This is about training your audience. Now, most bands would start out as a cover band. They'd get their name out there and all that, and then they'll throw in one or two originals and let their fans get familiar with those songs. Then the next time they'll add another original and play covers, and then the next time they'll add another original, and they'll train their audience to their music. And before they knew it, they're playing all original stuff. So it's a marathon. Remember, this is not a sprint. This is a marathon. You want to build yourself up, right? And sometimes that means playing what you don't really want to be playing to keep your audience happy. Because remember, it's not. I hate to say it, but it's not about you, right? You're there doing a job, right? And your job is to entertain the crowd. You build your audience, you train them to know your stuff. And the way the bands would work is they would slowly build up their originals until the fans that keep coming back knew them, and before they knew it, they were playing all original stuff. And that still happens today. But a lot of young artists now think, this is my song, I'm an artist, I don't do covers. But, you know, what happens is that people switch off. And like I said, we're going to do a whole subject on covers, so I don't want to get too bogged down. The whole idea is about being flexible. So, think about it. Would you rather them go and forget you, or would you rather them coming back? You know, because if you can get them back, then you can start training your audience to being familiar with you and your stuff. And next thing you know, boom, they're loving it, and they're just there for your show that you've planned so well. And sure, there's times where you get people that just love it, and you might have to detour 1 or 2 songs, but sometimes you just have to scrap it and just go for broke and just go, okay, well, what are we doing? You know, I've had many band members along the way, and one of the things that most of them say is, you know, we never know what to expect with you, because I will go by the audience. You know, there's no point in having a show and being, yes, ha ha ha, you're gonna listen to me, I'm the artist, I am God, you're gonna, because that doesn't happen, right? You're playing and you see things aren't working, and it's like, okay, I gotta change, I gotta do something. So then you just say, look, we're doing this, just wing it, you know. And some of the best performances of the night will be those off the cuff things, you know. It's sort of like, you say to the guys, oh, look, you know, do you know this? And they're like, no, not really. It's like, look, just follow along and we'll see how we go. You know, and we make a big gimmick of it on stage and all that. And some of those are the best performances. Others are disasters. It's just shocking, you know, like you're halfway through the song going, oh my God, when's this gonna end? When's this gonna end? Ah! But it's important that you have to try and give it a go. You gotta salvage it and let the night flow. And it don't matter if you mess up. Like we were saying, mistakes don't matter. And I guarantee you, if your audience is having a great time, they're not gonna think about the mistakes you made. All they're gonna remember is, oh my God, I had a ball. We danced, we had fun, we did this, that. Right? They're not going to worry about the mistakes if they're locked into the show. But if you don't get them locked into the show, then you're just going to be a blip in their memory and it's going to be gone. You know, they're not going to remember you. So it is very important to be flexible. Wow! Oh yeah. Yeah, it's been a while. My battery pack died, so I had to put in new batteries. So hopefully all the settings are still the same and everything's still coming out. But yeah, I just want to keep going while I'm on a roll. Just slap in some batteries and go. But anyway, getting back to being flexible, right? Now, you know, that's what's important. You have to go with the flow of the audience. You let the audience take you where you need to go. And okay, I know some of you is just like, you gotta be so prepared. You're control freaks and you're like, I need to know everything I'm doing. Well, the big tip on that one is, if you have to be that much of a control freak, then plan diversions, right? Get 5 to 10 songs that you have as, you know, okay, if the crowd's like this, I can go here. If the crowd's like that, I can go here. It's not always gonna work, but if you have to be that much of a control freak and know everything you're doing, have things planned. It's sort of like, plan out your detours and say, okay, we're gonna go like this. Now, if it's at this point, you know, if something happens here that, you know, we got to change, then we'll go over here and try these ones here, and or have a couple plan B and plan C and plan D. And you can always divert back. Think of them as detours, right? You have your show that you want to do, well, just divert and then come back. So, and as you get more familiar with it, you'll learn just to go off the cuff. And the more you read your audience, because, you know, there's times where you rock up to a place and the crowd is just completely different from what you think it was, you know, from what you were planning. So it's like, oh no, what am I doing? You know, what am I going to do? It's like, this is not the same crowd that I was expecting. Well, that's where you got to just go, cool, all right, let's see how we go. Well, I'll play this. If that's not working, we'll try over here. You know, you just try different things. And then when you find something, you lock in and you go with it. So yeah, be flexible. And remember, even if you rock up to a new place and, you know, the way it goes, you're playing everything that you hate, right? If they're having a good time, they'll come back and see you. And the next time you come back, and they come back to see you, then that's when you add a little bit of you in it. Right? And you say, look, I'm playing this. You guys are going to learn to play this. All right, I'm going to play the gambler. I'm going to play horses. I'm going to play K-San. But in between horses and K-San, I'm putting this one in and you guys are going to listen. And I guarantee you, if they know that you're going to give them a good time, they'll chill out, you know, and they'll go, okay, yeah, we'll listen to this, see how it goes. And if it suits the songs that they're into, it don't have to be those pub songs, but if it, you know, if it's similar to that sort of stuff, then they'll just go with the flow. You know, they're partying, they're going on. But if it's something that's completely different that's you, they'll go, okay, well, I'm going to get a beer, I'm going to have a listen to this. And then they're going to get familiar with it. So when you come back the third time, they're going to know that a bit more, and they're going to get into it more. So, yeah, you got to be flexible. That's what is so important. I'm Mark Shay. This is Exploring Music. See ya! This episode of Exploring Music is brought to you by Lag Guitars and Conceptual Creative. Check them out today. Hit the like button and comment and tell me what you think of this video. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future videos.